Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, gamers. Zenless Zone Zero, or CCC for short, is a brand new gacha game from miHoyo, creators of the small indie game Genshin Impact, space RPG Honkai Star Rail, and forgotten older sibling Honkai Impact 3rd. So, I come to you with a simple question. Is CCC a game you should spend your valuable time and hard-earned American dollaroos? We'll see about that because it's complicated. Just as a note, this is my footage from the CBT3 and does not represent the final version of the game. A lot has changed since CBT2. These are my thoughts and you should take them for what they are, opinions. If you love the game and you want to wail on Nicole, sad to say she got nerfed, but you're more than welcome to go ahead and do just that. Additionally, I will not be talking about the story because that is mostly subjective and I want those that will play to enjoy it without my bias. Let's start with the steak of this dish, the combat. There is a lot to love about the steak miHoyo cooked on this one. First, each character is pretty unique and plays differently from each other. Ranged characters, although alike, have their quirks that change the feeling enough to not be a copy-paste. The same goes for melee characters. All characters have basic attacks, dodges, skills, and an ultimate ability. While on the field, you also get bonuses depending if you're using a character with their faction or with someone of the same elemental typing. With attackers, supports, defenders, stun, or anomaly characters, you have plenty of options to customize your team. On battles, besides attacking, you can also dodge, perform perfect dodges, or perfect parries by switching at the right time. You can also switch mid-combo to increase the DPS because the previous action, if you're familiar with their other games, you'd be happy to know it also shares some elemental types. They add some flair and spice up the combat with their unique effects that you can activate by using your skills. For example, Ether does corruption while Electric does shock. Each effect is different, but it's safe to say that they add or make you do more damage. This is a good thing because every choice you make, either in combat or planning your team, matters. However, when it comes to build expression, how does CCC handle improving your characters? There are a lot of substats that you can have, such as impact, energy regeneration, and the classics such as attack, defense, and HP, but some are a little bit more obscure like attribute mastery. So there's a lot that you can min-max on here to make your characters do as you want. And how do we achieve that? Mainly with the W engine, which is the Lycon or weapon of the character. These will add guaranteed stat with some effects to your characters, enhancing their base abilities. You will also use tribe discs. Unfortunately, here is where I am a little mixed. These work like artifacts you get on Genshin or Honkai. The only difference is you can make sets of 2, 4, or even 6 if you're feeling lazy. To obtain these, you can use your stamina and with a randomized chance you might get what you're looking for. Or eventually you will have another currency that you can use to pull for them. Yes, another round of gacha in the gacha game. And these are random, with some improved odds to give you the one you selected, but it's still pretty random. To add another layer, we also have Bang Boosts, which are little bunnies that have passive effects, on-field actions, and active abilities you can trigger whenever an assist happens. It can get a little bit overwhelming, however the game takes its sweet time introducing all these systems to you at around the 10-hour mark. You can level up the bunnies, increase their stats by getting duplicates, and add chips that will further enhance their combat abilities. And if at this point you're feeling like they have a lot of systems going on, I'm sorry to say that I'm not even talking about dupes of characters, ability level ups, and personal passive effects or passives that come from factions or elemental typing. You might be wondering how you get the bunnies. Well, I'm sorry to say that it involves more gacha and more pulling. The only sure thing that you get from this RNG hell of a game is that you will pull. The silver lining, as far as I know, and this could get changed, is the currency used to get these bunnies is completely free to play and can only be obtained through missions, events, and gameplay. Besides combat, what else can you do? Let's see the fries that come with the steak. From doing little side missions, exploring the brand new TV space, or doing combat missions, there is a lot to occupy yourself with. However, not all of these have the same level of quality and care as the combat. The grid exploration, for one, at the start of the game feels strange. The gameplay does not immediately click, and it's like you're playing a different game altogether. After 20 hours or so, I got used to it, but by no means it was my favorite part of the game. You can also have mini games that you can do in the arcade. They're okay for the most part, but if you play Snake on your first phone, you already know front to back the whole thing. Again, these are not negatives as they expand the scope of activities you can do and enjoy. My main concern is that, like me, many players will come to experience the combat, cool characters, and amazing aesthetics that the game proudly showcases, but they're gonna be faced with minigames they don't care about, a TV space that is lackluster at best, and boring at worst. In regards to exploration, you have the city, which is no bigger than a shoebox, where you can talk to NPCs, eat ramen, and drink some coffee. These are small distractions that will not overshadow the fact that the starting city can be explored in the first 20 minutes. Not that you should, because there's not a whole lot to do or get besides, what the game provides with the shops. Now, I can hear you ask, why are you complaining about extra content on the game? And believe me, I can fully understand where you're coming from, because I did enjoy the occasional minigame and I did enjoy some of the more creative TV parts of the game. My concern is born from the fact that CCC is adding all this content that I believe eventually will be expanded further on, which by extension will reduce the amount of time they'll have to improve on the combat experience and story content. In a perfect world, they will be able to add new engaging battlefields with unique effects and cool mechanics to increase the depth of the already excellent combat. But we are not in a perfect world, and all these other things will take away resources from the aspect of the game that I love the most. To end this video, I will try to summarize my reasoning why you should or should not play this game. CCC has incredible fun, fast-paced combat that can be as easy as button smashing or as complex as specializing every character to fulfill a role, maximizing your damage with perfect parries and bursting the enemy's HP when their shields are down. The mileage you will get from combat will depend on how much are you willing to invest in understanding the character's mechanics, teams, and stat synergies. Now, if you're not big on gacha games or find the whole randomized percentage chance to get what you want frustrating and predatory, this game is not for you. You will have to pull on characters, their main weapons, the bunnies, and the equipment. And after magically you end up with a workable equipment setup, you will have to roll on the substats as well, making this RNG hell of a game even worse. The side content of the game is not bad by any means, it's just that it feels like it's there, and eventually there might be a time where you no longer want the potatoes, you just want the juicy steak. Even after all of this, I implore you to form your own opinion and try the game if you're on the fence. The worst thing that it could do is give you a crippling gambling addiction that will financially ruin you, because on the 80th pull of the hot police dummy mommy, you get instead the levitating maid mommy. Guys, it's not worth it. Or is it? Please tell me in the comments if you're going to play CCC, and if so, is it because of Nicole or Ambi? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.